Welcome to We're Talking Bears,
where we bring you the latest in the Chicago Bears experience.
I'm Uncle,
nephew,
and I'm Son,
and we're talking Bears. Welcome to this episode of We're Talking Bears. Thank everybody for tuning in and being here with us. Remember to like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell us what you think, give us your feedback, tell your friends about us. I know there's not been much to celebrate these past 3 weeks of this season. It's still early. It's a lot of football left, but man, has it been sad to watch, hard to watch. It's sad to see any of those phrases that you can come up with, man. It's just been tough for us Bears fans so far. The Chiefs, we had the Chiefs this week, 41-10. I'm not going to say, I'm always a Bears are going to win type of guy. That's just how I am about my team. But being realistic, we knew this was a game that should have been won by the Chiefs. What do you think? On 41-10, we scored late in the game. We didn't really have much going on all game long. It was nice to see some points on the board, because being shut out is even more demoralizing. But what did you see out there?
Well, you know what? I was sitting on the 40-yard line.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it was more demoralizing out there. First thing I saw was, fans that were behind their team, man. These guys have been in it. I was fussing and complaining and making noise. And one guy turned around and he just looked right at me and said, realize before this run with Patrick Mahomes,
Right.
said it had been the 70s since we won a championship.
You hear me?
He said, so we know your pain.
Right. Right. And that's a great perspective, because I always say that to guys when they get down on our teams in Chicago, that you got to look at some of these other places. They don't win much. And I mean, of course, we want to see our team win, but it's like, yeah, they're winning now and it's good. But I remember times when the Chiefs weren't beating anybody. So absolutely, that's absolutely a great point. But
yeah,
it has been a while for us, and I think it should be our turn again.
Yeah, it's our turn again. But you know what? I mean, the first thing this showed us is that flat out, bottom line, we're not ready. Right. We ran into the Super Bowl champions, and they were at full strength this week. Right. They had Kelsey and Christian Jones, and they were starting to click.
Kelsey and Tennessee.
We gave them a little pushback first drive. We stopped them and they had to punt. And then they stopped us and we had to punt. So it was even after, one drive apiece. Drive 2, they marched down and scored a touchdown. They made a statement, because that's what champions do. They said, all right, you punched me, you hit me in the nose, but you didn't knock me out. Drive 2, we marched down the field a little bit. And on the third and short, not third and medium, we stalled out. We had play calls that required a long time in the pocket. And we had Fields panic and not get the ball out at all. Maybe fearful of throwing a pick, but it's third down. Put the ball somewhere where the other team can't get it. Put the ball, lead someone to the sideline. Put the ball somewhere where the other team can't get to it. And give our receivers a chance to make a play. Don't just hold it until you get sacked. You gotta know time's up. You're missing 3 of your starting linemen. And as for the play calling, you're missing 3 of your starting linemen. We weren't a great offensive line. Now we're a patchwork offensive line. You've got to get that ball out, and you've got to call plays that develop fast enough to give him a chance to get the ball out. But both have to happen. That ball got stuck in his hand on that, and that was critical. That that series, even if it ended in a field goal, makes a statement that we can score on you. And when that ball got stuck in his hand and he got sacked on third, as we began a drive, it began to put something together. That literally made a statement. And we did not score on their starters, nor were we able to effectively stop them from scoring, very much. Honestly, the first quarter wasn't bad. The first quarter, it was 7-zip. Okay. Should have been at least 7-3. Have a conversation, but it was 7-zip. It wasn't bad. It got out of hand in the second quarter. They scored touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal. They scored 5 times in the second quarter.
Yeah.
They beat the snot out of us. We had whatever life we showed in the first quarter. They took the paddles away from the ambulance driver, and they gave us the rods from the electric chair. Man, it was bad. And that when in Kansas City, when those fans get going in an open air stadium, it's deafening. They are screaming for their first downs. They're hollering. They're fired up. They're going nuts. On third down, you can't hear a thing. You can't hear the people sitting next to you. Your aunt couldn't hear me on third down when we had third down. Man, them guys on the field, they can't hear each other. They can't hear Justin make any calls. That place, an open air stadium, is deafening on third down. It's a playoff environment, even though we're nothing compared to a playoff team. But they're going wild, and it's intimidating. It's intimidating. You're down there, you can't hear anything. You're on timing on that field. This third down, man, they start screaming from the time it's second down to the time the play's over. It's wild. Man, they put it on us.
They did. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Play calling, I feel like, hasn't been what it needs to be. I know Justin's been holding on to the ball. I know he was saying everything about people being in his ear, and he was just gonna let go and play football. I don't know if that's how I felt this week seeing that, and maybe that's what it was, but I don't know, man. I just feel like we need to scheme more. We need to have some things that work for our guys, man. And like you said, with 3 starters on the line down, I just don't think what we're doing is working. It's not working, and we're absolutely not ready.
And I'll give it to Larry Borum. Played well. I mean, he played well, really well. Larry Borum wasn't the problem. Stepping
Right.
in for our tackles aren't the problem. It's the center of the line. They're getting blown up. Whitehair and Patrick are getting blown up. Jatari Carter, I got to look at more at the film. He wasn't terrible, but honestly, the 2 guys stepping in weren't the worst thing. Patrick, but we are. It's just it's just wrong. It's wrong. I mean, we come out of that game. Justin Fields leads us in rushing and passing yards, but it's horrible. It's 47 yards on 11 carries. That's just a regular running back. And it's 99 yards on 11 completions, 11 of 22 with a TD and a pick. And when you're sitting there and watching this, the first thing you say is, hey, we've got 2 running backs, 3 really, that can give you 5 yards a carry, but we won't give them the ball. We won't give Khalil Herbert the ball. We won't give Roschon Johnson the ball. Roschon had 8 carries for 38 yards, 4.8 a carry. Herbert had 7 carries for 31 yards, 4.4 a carry. What's wrong with that?
Right.
Neither of these guys, they won't let them have 15. If they give them 15 carries apiece, 30 carries between the 2 of those guys, they're averaging 4.5, 5 yards a carry. 30 carries, 150 yards on the ground.
Right.
That's 150 yards on the ground. That's a lot of first downs.
Right.
You're at least kicking field goals. You're not stalling out. And DJ Moore had 3 catches for 41 yards. His worst day as a Bear, flat out. And this time, yeah, he dropped some balls. He dropped some balls. I don't know why we didn't throw the ball to Mooney. It didn't make any sense. You know, I don't get it. It was just bad. And the defense, you know, they had one. They had in the first half. Think about the defense had 3 times where they caused them to punt or kick a field goal. Aside from that, they were giving up touchdowns like they were pancakes.
You said 3 times.
Everybody get one.
You
Everybody
said
get 2. Everybody get 3. You don't eat one pancake.
I'm not. They scored every time. There was only one time that we stopped. And it was the first drive.
Right. Well, I'm saying they had they had at least we held them to field goals twice. At least at one point, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. These are the champs. We're coming in acting like chumps. I'll take that we held you to a field goal. But thank God they would have been Miami if we let them score a touchdown every time.
You're right.
You know, but, you know, I'll give credit where credit is due. Our guy, Jack Sanborn, gets an interception on the first play that their backup, Blaine Gabbert, walks in. I mean, literally. I love that in Sanborn. Just his attitude that, yeah, it's almost the fourth quarter. This game is way out of hand, but I'm not done playing football.
And I'm not
Sanborn steps in, comes across the middle, picks Blaine Gabbert, and runs that sucker for a while. He ran it in the field goal range, you know, and hey, you know, and you know what? Bears fans in the stadium were screaming mad because we went for the field goal on that. I disagreed with it. You know, I turned around and talked to one dude. I was like, no, dude, they needed to respect the defense. The offense didn't put that ball in field goal range. The offense moved the ball a little bit, but the defense caused that. You have to let the defense score when they score.
Right.
I mean, would you have gone for it on 4th and 3 on the goal line, or did you agree about kicking that field goal?
I'm not gonna lie, I completely agree because they haven't shown that they can get the ball in there. And I mean, like absolutely what you said. If I'm on the defense and we get you into field goal range, which you haven't been able to do, you're not getting the ball in the field goal range. You're not moving the ball well enough. You get what I'm saying? So even though I understand because you need to put up points, right? You got to score touchdowns, but your team isn't producing that. So just to say, yeah, you put those 3 up to show the defense, we're gonna put some points on the board because you made this happen. Absolutely. Imagine a shutout when the defense has put you in field goal range. At least put you in field goal.
Take the shutout off of the table. Take it off of the table. This is not a shutout. No.
Right.
And I think by respecting the defense, as you saw, even though they got a few first downs with their backup and moved the ball some, you know, the next thing you know, I don't even know who Quindale Johnson is. but Quindell Johnson gets a pick. I don't know who that is.
Right.
I don't know.
I didn't either.
I
But you're
didn't.
right.
I did until he made that interception. I had no idea who the heck Quindell Johnson is. Right. I'm like, how far down are you on the depth chart?
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, I didn't even know you were in the game, buddy.
Right.
And then you look up and wham, this kid gets an interception. And maybe that's a sign that he should be out there a little more, right?
Right.
But he gets a pick. So now we picked Blaine Gabbert twice. And literally I stood up and screamed, hey, hey, we may not be better than your starters, but we're better than your backups.
Right. Right. Man.
And we went down there and scored a touchdown, and DJ Moore got that touchdown catch, which was important. But I'm just this offense. Let's face it. All I could remember watching this was the 2019 when the Bears offense was completely anemic and Trubisky and Aaron Rodgers are battling it out. And it's 3-3 in the fourth quarter because the defense was strong. And, Rodgers finally punches in for a touchdown and we can't. And all I remember is, we got 3 points in 4 quarters out of that offense. And this offense, it's a completely different offense. The only 3 guys that were there, I believe, Whitehair was there. That's it. I think he's the only guy off this offense that was there back in 2019. Maybe Cole Kmet and Whitehair. And we got completely new coaching staff. We got new management. We got the same product.
So
how's that possible?
Is it a curse? Like it sounds like what you're saying is it's a curse. Because how does that happen? How does that happen? What are you alluding to with that? What are you alluding to?
I don't understand. I'm looking for some insight. How is that? I mean, I don't like C words. I don't like saying it's a curse.
I don't either.
How is it possible we have the same results that we produced
the only thing that I can say
ago.
Is that you brought in the same type of people. You brought in the same types of people. You got the same types of play calling. You got the same types of, because what else is it? If we can look, we're talking Bears and over the summer with training camp and with the draft and everything that was going on, and we prepared for this. We know the talent of the players, right? We talked about it. We discussed these guys. There's got to be something else there. Now, not saying that our team is the best talented team in the league, but they're not utilizing.
We ain't that bad.
We're not that bad, and they don't utilize the players correctly. If we can sit and still question why it's the same. The play calling is not much different from those years. I can tell you that. Some of the same things that Trubisky was doing, Justin Fields is doing. And I don't understand it. It's like some of the same things with running the football. I remember we've been doing more Talking Bears for a while now. These were the same concerns we had then. If we can run the ball, why aren't we running the ball? If these are the things that are working for us, why are we going away from that? I can't explain it to you, because I feel like when you bring in new management, I would think you're knowledgeable, right? You guys are professional coaches, professionals. You guys should know the players that you have. Do you not know anything about the team? Did you not see that these are the same plays that you were running when it didn't work?
Or even if you're running some different plays, you still don't. I think Dave Weinstadt was talking about, former Bears coach, was talking about we're still missing an identity. Who are we when we walk on the field? He's like, you can run your offense any way you want, but what is your scheme? What is it that you're good at that you're gonna do? I I don't. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. This reminds me even of the Lovey years when we hired Cutler and wanted to be a passing team. And there was a particular year when Green Bay went all the way and won, and they had to beat us to get through. They came through the wild card,
Mm-hmm.
and we were the favorite,
I remember.
but we didn't run the ball enough. We passed our way out of that. We could have kept them out of the playoffs. We were in Lambeau, and our boy Matt Forte, he was averaging 7 to 8 yards a carry in Lambeau. And Cutler threw, I don't know, just so many times it was ridiculous. Maybe 33, 39 times, and 3 picks. And we win that game, Green Bay's never in the playoffs.
Right. I
And
remember.
they're the only team in the NFC that could beat us that year.
Right.
And we also win that game. We win, it's bragging rights, right? But Forte's getting 8 yards of carry in the frozen tundra, and you're not, or 7, and you give him the ball. You tell Cutler to go throw 30 plus times. It's crazy. If
Right.
you getting 8 yards of carry, I need to give you that ball 30 times.
Right.
Let you get 200. Forte
Right.
gets 200 that day. Green Bay doesn't win anything.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. And this is the same type of stuff. Roshan and Herbert, they didn't even get a chance to get their legs warm.
Right.
Think about it. I don't care that you're getting blown out at this point. You need to slow this team down, and you need to score. You need to get this. Don't give me that stupid logic about, well, it's too late to run the ball. You look, when you're sitting back, it's too late to run the ball, and you're sitting back, and you're sitting here and you're down 21-0. It's actually time for me. It's time to run the ball, because at 21-0, there was, guess what? 3 minutes left in the half. I can recover from 21-0. It's a hard uphill battle, but I can recover. But we, after that moment, let loose another 13 points, 2 field goals and a touchdown in the last 3 minutes and a half. You run that ball, you try to move, you may matriculate down the field and get yourself 7 points. Then it's 21-7. You got a fighting chance. But you do what we did, it's 34-0 at the half.
Right.
There's no way you're coming back.
Right.
I don't know. Is there, let's be a little positive. Is there any
Week
positive
4.
you saw?
Look, yeah, we don't play them next week. Positive. I'm positive about that. Because, man, and you know what? Like we said, I'm not surprised that we lost. I'm glad that we were able to put some points up, even if it's against the backups. I just don't want our guys to go out there and not have any confidence. And I feel like what Juan said, the comment you made about that, I think is very important. And it's not necessarily about, like he said, running your team any particular way. You can run the team any way you want. But if I'm on a team and I'm DJ Moore or I'm Justin Fields and I'm one of these guys, and we know we're a team, right? We play sports on a team. You know who's who, and you know who's
who's who.
You know who's who. I can't be the who's who. I can't be who I'm supposed to be to the team if you don't allow me to be who I'm supposed to be to the team. And sometimes that means playing the game in such a way that allows that person to be that guy on the team. And that's just how it is. Let's be real. Randy Moss is known for making incredible catches over people, but it's like if you don't throw some of those balls to him, You never know. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you might say, oh, he's double covered. You know what I'm saying? But he made some of those catches. And I guess my point is to say this is what it's all about. These guys are professionals for a reason. The only way you become that person or that guy that we all want and had hopes that Justin Fields could be is if you allow him to play in such a way where you have the confidence in him. You get what I'm saying? Until you allow your guys to have that green light, as we call it, it's not going to happen. You get what I'm saying? You have to allow those players to be the player you want them to be. And I feel like with our team, they coach them in such a way where it's very what's the word? Cautious. It seems very cautious. Where it's like, I don't want you to go out there and be great. Huh?
Let me jump in there. After you screw up, let's I don't want to overestimate, but I don't want to underestimate. First series of this season, the stupidity on 3rd and 1 and then 4th and 1 and then handing the Packers the ball on our side of the field. Look, you put your players in a position to win.
Right.
You were on a 10-game losing streak coming into that game. You put your players in a position to win. And Getsy and Eberflus, because he's his boss. If I do something stupid, my boss walks through my door and says, Getsy and Eberflus put the team in a position for these 3 weeks. And because the air went out of the stadium on that stupidity. And these are all men who lift the same weights. They run the same 40s. They have the same coaching across the league. It comes down to effort, belief, and game plan. These are you go, one guy's on a terrible team one year, and the same guy's got a Super Bowl ring the next year. This game is attitude, mentality. The guys on the Kansas City Chiefs can't lift 75 more pounds per man than the guys on the Bears, and we just don't have a prayer. They lift the same amount of weights. They can do the same exercises. When they come together as 11, it ain't the same.
It ain't the same.
It ain't the same.
And that's it. That's it. That's it. And to me, that's coaching. That's coaching. Like you said, you got to put your guys in a position to win. And I think then that was the point I was making, is that as a player on these types of teams, you got to give me a shot. If I'm a receiver and we got a bad O-line, sometimes it's like, hey, throw me the ball.
Throw the ball.
What's going on? Throw the ball out here. Let me make a play. You get what I'm saying? Because as a athlete, you never feel like, I mean, let's be real. You're never gonna feel like I'm too covered to get the ball. If you're, you know what I'm saying, you're never gonna feel like, hey, this isn't a good play for me. Don't give it to. That's not how you're gonna feel. So at the end of the day, I think we have a team where we're not instilling that confidence in our players. We're not allowing our players to go out there and shine like they want to, and they don't call the plays for them in that manner. And that has to change, because I don't care if my team loses. We can lose. Anybody can lose. You get what I'm saying? But I want to see my team go out there and play. Let's see the best players at their best. Let's see the guys that we do have that can go out there and produce. Let's see them go out there and produce. It's every week anyway. So let's just see how we. You gotta let them play.
You gotta let them play, and then you also gotta instruct Justin. Man, look. Honestly, if I'm coaching Justin, I'm gonna tell him, Justin, we're 0-13 in the last 13 games. I don't care if you have a 4 interception game. I care if you are afraid to throw the ball.
Right.
I don't care. If you put it out there, and I have this meeting with the whole offense and the defense. I have it in front of everybody. I said, I don't care about the results right now. I care about the input. Because that's my philosophy anyway. I'm an input person. If you get the right input, you get a chance.
Right.
And that's why I think it was so critical. It's like Getsy and Eberflus don't understand rhythm.
Right.
There's a rhythm to sports. Phil Jackson was a master of rhythm. Your aunt would always talk about how the Bulls would pour it on you in the third quarter. And they poured on you so tough in the third quarter, you were defeated when you came off the bench in the fourth quarter. You were defeated. Teams were like, how are we gonna stop this and score? Because they would just, that third quarter's coming, your aunt would go, watch what's about to happen. And
Right.
sure enough, Micah Scotty and the boys, boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden, the game was over. They were cruising in the fourth. They're
Mm-hmm.
sitting down
They
drinking
sitting
Gatorade,
down.
laughing.
Yep.
It's over. It's over.
Yep.
It might have been 44-43 in the second, but at the end of the third, it's 81-60. It's and the defense, they had phenomenal defense. They were a defensive team first. So by 20, 21 points, you're not coming back on those guys.
Right.
And there's a rhythm. And I think Getsy and Eberflus are missing the rhythm.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with defense. Defensively, there's a rhythm. You can't let them score back to 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 back. You've got to do something.
Right.
And you got to take away something. It's the same thing going back to Phil Jackson. And there's a mentality. You think about Phil Jackson. When he was with the Bulls, his whole mentality was hack-a-shack, hack-a-shack, hack-a-shack. Then when he began to coach the Lakers, he flipped his own mentality. They're like, well, what do you do when they hack you? Shaq, just because you get 1 out of 2 field goals, if they put you on the line 20 times, you get 1 out of 2. That's 20 points.
Right.
If you hit 10 layups, you got 40. Fine, let them hack you, and all their guys are sitting on a bench.
Right.
It only worked because Shaq thought, oh, they're taking me out of the game. And so he was out of the game. But when he realized they're putting me in a position, when he got the same coach on the other side, it's the same thing.
Right.
Kelsey didn't have an incredible game. When you look at the numbers, as Kelsey had 7 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. The problem was there were just too many times when he was wide open.
Right.
Wide open. There was a lot of good tackling to hold him back. You look at the numbers, and their numbers aren't phenomenal. Patrick Mahomes had 272 and 3 TDs. Travis Kelce had 7 catches for 69 and a TD. He's the top receiver on the team. Pacheco had 15 carries for 62 yards. He's the top running back. When you look at it, it doesn't seem like they ran away with the game. Problem is, every time they turn around, they score.
All right.
Every time. And I mean, literally, Mahomes hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different people. 10 guys. 10.
Good for him, man. Good for him. Sheesh. No, you're right,
And
man.
guess how many rushes they had between their top 2 running backs?
How many?
30.
I was gonna say
just what we call for ours. And guess what? Their running backs had less yards per carry than ours.
Of course they did.
they had 4.1 and 3.7, but we're not allowing our team to be victorious. They had 33 pass attempts and they had 38 pass attempts and 30 rushes. Because we won't run the ball, we only had 22 pass attempts, and our running backs had 15 rushes, plus Justin's 11. So, I mean, I'm tired of being tired.
We got Denver coming up. What you think?
I think that any team think about it like this. We're from Chicago. If a guy just got beat up by 30 dudes and he's out the hospital now and he sees 10 guys coming around the corner, what's he going to do? He's going to try to kill all of them.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of Denver right now. I'm not saying we're going to lose, but we're not going to face the Denver that Miami faced. And let's face it, at the beginning, Denver did something we couldn't do. Denver scored 13 points on their starters. Now, we did something Denver couldn't do. Their backup scored another 14 in the fourth. So at least we shut down Kansas City's backups, proving we're better than their backups. We should be their backups. You should just move there, put the Bears team behind Mahomes and the
guys. Man.
No, but Denver's dangerous. Sean Payton is a good coach. Russell Wilson still has some talent. They've got a run game. They've got I'm not going to say they have a defense. Here's the dumb thing, right? You look, Miami's running backs scored like 70% of the points.
I know. They went
50 points from the running backs. If Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson aren't fed, if they don't have 18 carries apiece and 5 receptions apiece, we're the dumbest team in the world. Feed those are two of the best running backs in the NFL. Feed them. All right. If we come out of this game and those guys touch the ball together 10, 15 times, somebody need to get fired.
All right. Well, I feel like we've been beaten 0-13 in our last 13 games, and we're fresh out the hospital too. And I'm hoping we're looking to kill us some Denver Broncos, man, because we ain't been winning nothing either, and that should be our attitude also. Like, we may not have lost by 50, but we got our behinds kicked as well. And we've been getting.
I liked our fourth quarter. If we can take the attitude of that fourth quarter, we did not quit. And we made a statement. We had some pride and said, hey, they put the backups out. I mean, first play with the backups. Sanborn's like, you ain't Patrick Mahomes, baby. That's my ball. First play. We had some pride. Next series, we take it again. And we scored 10 points on those two. That's how we need to play Denver. Because Denver ain't better than Kansas City's backups. They already proved that. So we need to treat them like we treated Kansas City's backup. We need to go in there and go, hey, we are not the worst team in the NFL. You are. And we need to treat the rest of the season that way. We need to establish winning. Last year, we passed it off as intentionally dumping. That doesn't work anymore. We're not trying to get the overall first round pick. I don't want it 2 years in a row. I don't. We got 2 first-round picks. We're not going to the Super Bowl. Guess what? We'll be fine with whatever number we come in. Neither is Carolina. We're going to have 2 first-round picks in the first half of the draft. But let's have some pride for the next 14 games. Let's try to go 7-7. Let's go 7-7. I'll take 7-10 at this point. but anything less is unacceptable.
Yep. I'm nephew.
I'm uncle, and we're really pissed about this.
Hey, you know what? You know what? You're right. You're right. But they got to turn it around, man. At some point, it just has to click. It's definitely a rhythm thing. I'm hoping they can get it together because we got too much talent on our side. And I'm with what Cuz said. If they don't get it together, Gessie, Eberflus, and Poles, if you don't see to make sure that you make those moves, then you need to go too. Because that's how I feel. Like we need to start winning, and this isn't acceptable. This isn't acceptable. It's okay to lose games, but it's not okay to get your behinds kicked and not to at least come out there and produce. We're not producing.
It's not okay to lose every game. That's not okay.
It's not. Unless you're like a kid playing the adults and it's like, oh, this is just for learning purposes. That's how we look out there a lot of the time. That's why I'm like, are we trying to just learn? With the JV team. We'll see. We got Denver coming up, man. I'm always a W for the Bears type of guy, so they gotta at least win me some money one time. They always wrong, man. I'm flushing my money down the toilet betting on these guys every week.
Don't bet on them.
Well, it's a figurative bet. I don't actually use real money because I wouldn't even be here. Later.
All right.
All right.
All right, nephew.
All right, I'm gonna let you.